Greetings. My name is Kyle Hulse. I'm running for the New York State 26th US Congressional District, vacated by the shamed Republican Chris Lee, to represent the people of Western New York. I am seeking the Libertarian Party nomination in this race due to the failure of both major political parties to deliver constitutional representation to you, the voters and the people of Western New York. Libertarians are for much smaller government, free market principles, non-interventionist foreign policy, and free trade, and the absolute protection of individual liberty of every U.S. citizen. I invite you to refer to www.lp.org for a complete understanding of the history and the philosophy of this nation's third largest political party. The Libertarian Party is not yet recognized in New York State. This severely limits your choice. New York state law requires that the Libertarian Party petition the Board of Elections to be included on the ballot. Warren Redlich, the Libertarian Party's gubernatorial candidate, in 2010 received 48,386 votes, just short of the 50,000 required for automatic ballot access. Politics is a numbers game, and at the federal level it's a money game. The national debt is $14 trillion, $173,719 million to be exact as of this writing. It's over $14 trillion. In 2010, interest expense alone on this debt outstanding was $413 billion, $383 billion in 2009. The deficit in fiscal year 2010 was $1.3 trillion, or put another way, that's 3 times interest expense alone. This does not account for unfunded liabilities or the future legacy costs of federal government spending. Lawmakers need to stop wasting your money. The Republican Party from just 2006 to 2008 in 2 years added $2 trillion to the national debt by implementing entitlements such as Medicare Part D, which was a backdoor subsidy to the pharmaceutical industry, and not to mention the bailout costs of failed, bloated banking, insurance, and automobile companies. Also, bad legislation such as campaign finance reform that was deemed unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. The Democrat Party from 2008 to 2010 added $4 trillion of new spending initiatives such as fictitious shovel-ready projects, infrastructure spending, healthcare overhaul, the latter of which is also deemed unconstitutional as we speak. While Republicans and Democrats quibble over last year's budget, they are negotiating a total $61 billion in cuts. Let me remind you that the interest expense alone for 2010 was $413 billion. The budget for 2010, not yet resolved as of March 2011, is $3.5 trillion in total costs and with tax revenue of about $2.3 trillion coming in. The deficit keeps being added to the national debt and is expected to top $15 trillion here shortly. As the pendulum swings from left to right, from Republican to Democrat, control over government and your lives worsens your standard of living. The major political parties have failed you miserably and have limited your choice. As a representative of liberty, a true libertarian, I say the insanity must stop. We need to act now on some revolutionary measures, actions that restore your individual liberty by returning government and choice back to you, the individual. Smaller self-government is one that conducts business as specified in the U.S. Constitution for national defense and the protection of private property. A balanced budget amendment has been talked about for years. Ensuring that Congress cannot run deficits will ensure that the $14 trillion debt increases no further. Federal spending should be contained to match tax revenue each and every year with no exceptions. Reduce every agency's budget by 20% across the board. By my simple calculation, that is $700 billion on a $3.5 trillion operating budget alone, and is a good start. The dollars should be returned back to the private sector, your households and your small businesses. Your income is private property, and the fruits of your labor are yours and yours alone. The government is not constitutionally entitled to a portion of your income. I strongly support replacing the income tax with a national sales tax alternative. This revolutionary new idea already exists in the U.S. Congress as H.R. 25, Senate Bill 13 if I'm correct. It is titled simply the Fair Tax Act and was first introduced in 1999. The measure calls for a phase-out of the Internal Revenue Service over a 3-year period and would scrap the entire U.S. tax code and replace it with a 133-page document. Google Fair Tax Act H.R. 25 and you will find a multitude of information on this already existing revolutionary alternative that was reintroduced this past year by Georgia Senator Saxby Chambliss. Please keep linked into this website and the affiliated social network as we continuously improve your understanding of the Libertarian Party and all current issues before us, especially those directly related to the constituents of the 26th US Congressional District of New York. Thank you.